Hey Eagles. So today we're going to make some handmade paper. It turns out looking something like this. This one is not quite dry, and as you can see, it will, once it does dry, peel off of the cardboard, and I'll be able to cut it into whatever shape I want at that point. So things you're going to need, you're going to need just an extra piece of cardboard. Thicker cardboard or corrugated will work better, but it's okay if what you have is like a cereal box or pizza box edge too. It's really just something hard that you can put your paper on to let it soak and dry, okay? And you're gonna need about 3 or 4 pieces or squares of toilet paper. I know toilet paper is kind of a hot commodity right now, so I won't make you use too much, but that is a thin enough fiber for us to use to make our handmade paper. You're also going to need a dish or bowl, something to mush the paper together, the paper pulp, and then some water to get it wet so that those pulps all come forward to make a new shape. I like to color mine somewhat, so you can just do white paper that you reform, that's fine. If you would like to add color, markers work great, or you could use watercolors. You can also add some glitter in there if you want. So lots of different things you can do. I'm going to just color a little bit on this, and it doesn't matter a whole lot how you choose to color it because it is going to change once it gets wet, because as we all know, markers tend to bleed or spread out a little bit as they are getting exposed to water, so when they get wet. So I'm going to do just a little bit of oranges, some red, some yellow, just get a little color going here. I would suggest not putting colors that make brown together if you are using markers or paint. So for instance, red and green are complementary colors, so when mixed they make brown. I would definitely choose not to put any complements like that in there, or when the colors mix, you're going to end up with brown handmade paper, which may be what you want. I don't know. Really up to you. All right, and last, we're going to do a little red at the end. Okay. You can also add glitter. I don't have any glitter on hand. I use the rest of my glitter at the house, as you can see in my sample piece here. So I don't have glitter, but it is another thing you can use. Now, once you get it colored the way you want, you're going to just tear it into some little pieces and put it in the bowl. Smaller pieces are better. So just tear it up. And this is what's going to create that paper pulp. And pulp is just that fibers or tree fibers that are made from plants, so that we can use that once we get the water added. So I'm going to get all that paper torn up in little pieces, and then we just are going to add that water, really mush it up. Now, consider when you tear the paper and then add water to it, since we've added markers to this, it is going to bleed out onto your fingers a little bit. So make sure you're using washable markers or watercolors. Those will wash off. You can create more vibrant colors by adding food coloring or Sharpie markers, but it is going to stain your fingers. As you can see, my fingers have a little bit of blue on them from making my first paper or my example paper using food coloring. So it makes for a really pretty paper, but it is going to leave your hands stained for a while. So that is totally up to you and your parents whether you want to have stained hands for a while. But food coloring does work at making a really nice paper if that's something you're interested in. All right, so I've got all my paper torn up. So now I'm going to add a little bit of water to this and start mixing my pulps together. As you can see, those colors are already starting to mix together. I really want to get it mushed in there good. And red, yellow, and orange, as you can see, all blended together to make this really kind of pretty red-orange color. So I'm going to take that, squeeze out some excess water and kind of flatten it. And we're going to just smush it onto the cardboard. And it helps to kind of smush it into the shape that you want. And I would also suggest you work at making it about the thickness of the cardboard you're using or a little thinner. So it is going to be a little thicker than actual paper, but it doesn't have to be super thick. Now this will take a day or two to dry fully. If you want to set it in a windowsill or in front of like the vent, if you've got the heater on or the sun, something like that, it'll dry a little faster. So we're going to push and squeeze it to the cardboard a little bit, get any excess water out as much as we can. And there you have it. We just set it to dry. And in a couple days, it'll look like this one. A couple days more, you'll be able to peel that right off the cardboard and cut it into whatever shape that you want. All right, guys, have fun.